What's the worst part of depression? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. How insanely hard it is to get help. You have to advocate for yourself a lot, and you just can't even. If your doctor is dismissive of your concerns, you have to make her listen. If your therapist isn't a good fit, you have to try to find another one at a time when picking up the phone to order a pizza is even too much. Don't have insurance and can't afford a therapist. Maybe you can get a job with better insurance with all that energy that you don't have. It's like your leg is broken and you have to climb a mountain to get to the hospital to get it fixed. Story 2. The guilt. Guilt over not getting things done. Guilt because I feel like I'm letting others down. Guilt for not being fully present for the people I love. Was looking for this one. It's something I still struggle to get used to. At this point, I understand and can live with myself and my faults, but what hasn't changed is how I affect others. Failure to live up to expectations creates a crumbling cycle I struggle to break out of, which affected me at home, in school, at work, in my relationships, and with new friends. When the clouds roll in, I just can't be the person I want to be for others. It's so tiring to try and explain something that, until one point in my life, was impossible for me to understand and verbalize. Either people give you the benefit of the doubt or just simply don't understand. All the people close to me and look up to are the people that gave me that second thought instead of writing me off as unreliable, uncaring, uninterested, or lazy. Everyone else thinks your apologies are empty. It's hard to blame them, but they simply don't get the whole story. Story 3. The forgetfulness and lethargy. I'm so done with it, but here I am. The amount of times my fiancé had to grab me and sit me on the sofa because I'd wander around our flat like a ghost, forgetting what I should be doing. But according to my mother, this is normal. No, mother, a one-off thing is normal. Weeks, months lasting forgetfulness and lack of attention is not. Story 4. The complete loss of who you are. You remember having a personality, hobbies, pretty much any desire to do anything. And then it's just gone. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't even want to get up and use the bathroom. You could lay in bed for hours and not even notice because your brain has just completely and totally shut down on you. It is isolating and exhausting to experience. And all the while you're blaming yourself for being so useless and pathetic. You literally just lose yourself. Estimated time of arrival. Since this comment has blown up, I feel compelled to add, depression doesn't manifest the same for everyone. If you feel like you need help, there are resources available. It is possible to improve and find yourself. You can also always message me and I will respond. Story 5. When being suicidal stops being scary and starts being just another part of life. I should eat something. I want to die. I need to take a shower. I should go for a walk. I wonder whether I could jump in front of a car. I need to do the dishes. That new show looks fun. I should stab myself with a kitchen knife. At some point, it gets hard to remember a life without depression is even possible. Story 6. It can be self-sustaining. You feel depressed, so you withdraw. Withdrawing makes you feel depressed. Can get stuck in a never-ending cycle. To add to that, sometimes you break through and everything feels clear and normal. But that can make you look back at all the time and opportunities that you wasted by being withdrawn. Even the act of withdrawing seems juvenile and pointless in retrospect in those clear moments. But of course, during the act of withdrawal, there seems to be no other rational or emotionally acceptable. Story 7. The awareness of how much you're not doing. I know I'm neglecting the dishes and laundry and work, but that knowledge doesn't help me summon the motivation to actually fix that and start doing normal stuff again. In fact, it often sets off a spiral of self-criticism, which feels even worse. Thankfully, I've only gone through one episode and am on medicine that's been an enormous help along with therapy. Please seek help if you can. I know it can be daunting, but it really does make a huge difference. Hugs to everyone dealing with depression and mental illness in general. Story 8. Not being interested in anything. Nothing grabs your attention. Everything is boring. But you know it would probably be good for you to do it, but it's just too big a mountain to climb. Being interested, lonely, bored, disinterested, and ashamed about it. I can't muster an interest in anything. I don't care to do things. I don't have hobbies, resulting in me being boring. I bore myself. How am I supposed to attract other people with nothing to talk about? It's awful not being able to enrich your life for lack of interest. It's so boring. Story 9. The detachment aspect of depression is probably the worst for me. I lose my ability to speak to people closest to me, and I have a hard time opening up again or reaching out when I go through stages of depression, especially when I've unintentionally hurt someone close to me due to it. I'm a very sympathetic and emotional person, but when I go through waves of depression, I lose that ability and it sucks. Another thing, which I guess goes hand in hand with detaching, is the lack of self-care that I do for myself and feel guilty when I try. It's a miserable game, if that's what you want to call it, and some people see it as you being selfish but neglecting everything and not being able to do anything about it due to depression is not a selfish act. It can be a cry for help. Story 10. For me, it's the broken reward circuit in your brain. If I'm just feeling sad and having a bad day, getting off the couch and hammering away at a project helps a ton. When it's the big sad, waking up early and being productive does absolutely nothing, just dead. It's just that being unproductive makes it worse, but the opposite doesn't seem to make it better. Story 11, the suffering in silence part. When no one around you understands, so you have to hide it, which makes you feel so alone and your failures make you feel like a burden. But still, you can't talk to anyone, because your loved one's words may hurt you, and there is no rational way to explain how you feel. You suffer in silence, alone, desperate and hopeless, because it's only you. Story 12. The fact that people don't believe you because it's all in your head. You know the advice they give you. Don't think about it. Go for long walks. Exercise. If you don't think about it, you won't be depressed. There's something wrong with my brain and it needs to be treated with medical intervention. You see a guy with a broken leg, you don't immediately walk up to him and say, "Get up." Walk it off. If you don't think about your leg, it won't be broken anymore. No, you get him help and months of follow-up. Story 13. Feeling good one minute, finding yourself crying and feeling despaired the next, only because something or someone triggered you. Like just today, was feeling down because it's another beautiful sunny Sunday and stuck alone. Decided to go for a drive, put on loud music and raced a couple of strangers on the road, and that made me feel better. Then something which I don't even know triggered me and found myself holding back the tears in traffic. It breaks you down. You don't have the energy to go to work and meet with people or to study. You can't focus. You don't enjoy the simple things in life which used to give you pleasure. It's like a leech attached to you 24/7, which you are trying to hide from the world, and it's fucking draining. Story 14. As a 40-o, someone who has dealt with it since childhood and learned to cope. The hardest for me is seeing others suffer, seeing the hopelessness in those who have yet to find their coping mechanism. That, and watching the roller coaster ride of those seeking the proper medication, the physical and mental toll it often. Also, as a child, I found the dismissiveness from those who haven't experienced it themselves very difficult to understand. It led me to invest all of my energy into appearing happy around others, to the point of utter exhaustion. I would often have to hide away for weeks at a time, as best I could, which wasn't terribly helpful either. There was a silver lining to the play acting, though. I was able to avoid the medical roller coaster that I saw others riding, simply because my parents seemed utterly unaware of my distress. Story 15. It's all bad. Equally. I hated how time froze. 4 years after high school felt like 2 days apart. People are doing things with their lives, and you're just laying there, watching from Facebook, and you can't relate to anything people are doing now. Looking at pictures from when you were once beautiful and confident in your looks, then looking in the broken mirror and seeing someone who hasn't bathed in 2 weeks, has matted hair, can't even smell the horrible stench of the house because you're so accustomed to it. On top of that, social anxiety, so when someone does try to reach out to you, you log off for a week and hope they didn't think you were rude by not responding. There's no more dopamine left from the things you used to enjoy, so you just put it aside. Might do it one day, another day, and you still might do it. But it's been a few months since you said that. Wait, hold on. No, that was 2016 since you said that. And your old friend's kids can talk now. Huh, they were just pregnant. I'm not depressed like that anymore. But there were some really bad things that happened, and I live with regret with every waking moment of my life. People are quick to console someone without knowing the details, but believe me when I say that I do not deserve sympathy. All right, folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit a like button and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.